Okay. So color is a very important topic for all of you guys, because color in any composition or any work that you do, color is the main factor. And when someone perceive your composition or any space that you create, any costume that you make, color give a more color play a major role in that. So any one of you guys know how the color creates? Like there is a major factor that you need to create the color, actually to have the color. Anyone knows about it? What? Yeah, light is the most important factor. If you do not have light, you will not get color, because any of these elements that we see doesn't have anything called color. It's like light, it absorbs light and it reflects a certain factor of light that is like, let's see this orange chairs that you have. So what it does is it absorbs light into it and it reflects only the orange color. So that's when that light goes into when we perceive that light, our brain will tell that's the orange color. So it's about, if you do not have light, so forget about talking about color. But in a reduced light level, sometimes you will not see the color properly, but there is another factor that you can easily see. That is that we are going to learn now about the value. Value is like from light to dark. It can have for all the, just like the relationship between the light and dark, it can, all the colors can have this value. But first we will talk about it in the grayscale. That means grayscale, we usually say like it's the mix of white and black. It's like no hue. Hue means the primary, like the major colors that we use. So it's think like no colors, but something is going from light to dark. So vision is okay. See here, this is a grayscale image. So we call this very dark gray, that means more towards the black. We call it low value. And when it comes to more towards the white color, we call it high value. But we will, it's just remember, it's not only for the grays. You can have the value for every color. And here we talk about the achromatic gray. That's like you have no color. That's what I explained you before. We call this scale of grayscale palette the achromatic grays. But also color not by itself. If you have a background, just like we learned that foreground and background before in our just like in the emphasis. So see here, can you see this middle circle in every square? The color is the same, but because of the background, here you have the low value gray and here you have the high value gray surrounding that circle. Can you see there is a difference in the middle circle? What you see, this one you see it more lighter than the one that is over there. It's because of the surrounding. So when you are using colors, also remember that, because the color which is around the color that you are giving also matters. So when you are doing your composition, think about that as well. Do you think everyone see the color, the same color? Every one of us will see the same color? No. Yeah, that's right. Because it depends on your brain how it perceives the color. and some psychological and physiological factors. Physiological factors is most of the how your eyes and your brain works, and psychological factors matters also. Sometimes in the moods and all those things will affect in perceiving colors. So the color, this the one that we learn now, the value, like the from the low value to the high value, these the scales of gray also give a contrast. When you can use, because you know now the grayscale images, there are some dark patches and the light patches, so you can play with it and you can make contrast of certain values using this scale. So we learn about this image in the balance. So now let's think in the value perspective. Can you see the whole image at the background is in the low value? It's like light gray. But how this image balances is like you have one part here and another part on this side, but the both parts, can you see it has low value color, like a dark gray patch. So that's how it balances. You have one part here and the other dark patch on the right hand side. So you can also use value to balance your composition. And see now here also another good example for the color value. This whole image looks, what's the primary color used in this one when you are looking at the image? Yeah, it's green. So the green you have, this is low value, and the one at the back, the wall is this is high value, and that's one is the low value. So you can also use the values in colors as well. And also when you take out the color from this image, you can convert it to this one that we learned, achromatic gray, into that scale. So in that scale, can you see the same certain value also there? You can, I will explain you about this one at the later stage as well, using the color and the gray, this gray scale. So it's another example for it. See here, the yellow has more the green, the yellow and the violet. Yellow and violet has different values. I will show it to you at the later stage. Here you have this one here. Yeah, the two images are here. So the yellow, can you see now with the color and this purple image? When you take out the color of it, the purple is more towards the low value and yellow is more towards the high value. It's like comparing this with the achromatic grays. Just keep in, see now this image as well. See this on the right hand side, you have the image with colors, and when you convert it into just take out the colors and convert it into the achromatic grays, this is the achromatic gray scale. So see the two differences about the color. Now when you are using colors, how the composition will change. This is like just like neutral thing, but here you have emphasis, focal points, everything works with the color. So color, that's why I said color is a very important thing in your everyday work or everyday life. So let's talk about the color theory. But I explained it before. It's about the light and how it reflects, the white light reflects when it falls into an element, absorbing the certain colors, and the color that we see is the one that is only reflecting. So I'm not going to go more details about. I know that you have also learned about this one in your high school. These parts I will just go. So it's this is an example showing now this image is the one that all the other colors will absorb into it. The blue color will reflects. So let's go into the color mixing. Now we learn that the color is about the light, how we perceive the light into our eyes. There are two types of mixing. The first one is the additive system, that is more towards the light. So if that's why we have the primary colors of light is red, blue, and green. I am referring to the light. So if you combine these colors, the rainbow colors, if you just compose it together, you get white light. So we call it that system an additive system. But when it comes to the pigments that you use for the painting and all that, it's totally different. It's like when you are mixing that the primary colors of that one is red, blue, and yellow. When you mix those three colors, you will not get white. You will get black. So it's like this. Now you mix the pigments, and after that, that color becomes black. How we perceive the black is with the light. So remember those two concepts. Not don't mix it up with your light, how you perceive the light, and about the pigment mixing. So the color, the pigment mixing is, we call it subtractive system. That's most of the time the painting and drawings. We use the additive system in your computer screen, and you also in your softwares that you are using, Photoshop, Paint, that use the light mixing pattern. That's why when you also you can see the difference when you mix the pigments or the colors that you mix and painted on walls and all that. When you reduce light levels, the color differs. You will not have the same color. Also, you can see it here. The chairs in front is more darker than the chairs at the back because of the light. There are some other characteristic, not the character, like something that you have already in your memory. Some elements you have some colors that is already embedded in your memory. Like the most common thing is about the environment. If you are talking about the environment or about the leaves and all that, the color that you get into your mind is green. So it's like that. Some of these elements have some embedded colors like in our mind. So we read it as we read it with those colors. So these are two examples. And this is what I told you. The background, and the background is another factor that will help to emphasize the color. Sometimes to mix it with it. Like, let's see about this example here. See the same orange patch here, but in this background it emphasizes, but here it's not. It's more combining with that one. So this is another thing. See here, because of as we saw at the previous example, the same color patch, but it's darker here and lighter here. These are some of the examples. Another good one is this one. Can you see the difference? You see this is totally two different things. Just check with the color here. Then you see it's the same color at the bottom where the two crosses combines. So when you are working in your composition, think about the background as well as the foreground. So the three properties of color is hue, value, and intensity. We talk a little bit about the value. Okay, we go with the hue. Hue is about, now here, as previously I asked about showing you a picture and ask what's the primary color on that one. So in this one also it's green. See, that's what the name of the color is, the one that we call the hue. Like primary and secondary colors we use most probably to as the hue for certain other things, because when we see this one we said, oh, it's light green or it's dark green. So we refer with another, the main color, that's the green. So that's what we call the hue. So this one, what's the color that you are seeing here, the hue? Just, yeah. Yeah, it's blue. And the other factor is about the intensity. Intensity is when you are looking, when you are taking a color like say blue, the brightness and the dullness of the color. So how it happens? It happens with the complementary colors in between. I will explain it to you how it happens. It's like adding more gray to it or combining two complementary colors. Then it becomes more dull. And for the when you are using the color as it is in the primary as the pure color, it's more we call it more bright. So the properties of hue, I forgot to mention you one thing about that achromatic grays. They are about these values. A human being can perceive up to 40 values, like from the light to dark, 40 values can be perceived. And for this one, a normal human being can perceive 150 colors. So these are these 5, there are another 6 colors. Yeah, violet is also here because of this is the colors of the rainbow we use, that it's the deviation from those colors. So we call the hue as red, orange. We use red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Yeah, because violet is also more towards the blue, so we can go with the blue here. So that's about the hue, and let's go to the color wheel. Yeah, just try to finish. So this is the color wheel of the pigments, because we have red, blue, and yellow. We also have a color, just we can also mix the colors of the light as well, but it's a different thing. Now we are referring here for the pigment mixing method. So this is what we call color wheel. You can also just remember this one in this format. It's very easy then. So you have red and you keep 3 spaces here, and have blue, and spaces here and yellow. What we do now is we mix red with yellow, half and half, then we get the secondary color. So, as same as that, half of the red and half of blue creates this secondary color, and the other way, the other one is going on the same as, yeah.
Over time, do you think our eyes have adapted to perceive more colors?
What do you mean by?
Well, like, you know, like we're constantly changing as human beings. Do you think we perceive more colors now than we did 10
Yeah, I think so.
years ago?
Yeah, I think so. More colors, yeah. But that's the fact that has before that can be changed. Yeah, you are right. So red and yellow mix here, and we have 3 secondary colors here. So this is what we'll get. We will get, when you mix red and yellow, we get orange, and red and blue, it becomes violet, and yellow with blue, green. And when you are going to the tertiary colors, what we do is we mix this orange, half of this one, and with the red. So we get this. In the tertiary, you have 6 colors. This is how it goes. So this is the basic color wheel. So keep this one in mind. because for his explanation, there is a good thing. Now we have a lot of paints with different colors, and we perceive those colors as a different in different values. So this is another way. It's the one that I explained you. So this is the complementary colors, what we call. Like when you draw the color wheel, if you take a one color, just opposite to that one will be the complementary color. The simple ways to do it is, if you select red, just think the complementary color of red is mixing the blue and yellow. So when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. So the green and red are the complementary colors. Same like that for the other things as well, like the yellow. The complementary color is the violet, mixing red and blue. These other things we will learn about it in the next color lecture, so I will not go through it. So the value I said, more lighter ones, the more white, the value which is more towards the white, we call it tint, and more towards the black, we call it shades. This is here now. There are 40 tints and shades of any color the most people can distinguish. Yes. Properties of color value. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we learned before. Like the yellow and blue also have the value. So the yellow, when we take it out, when we take out the color, it's go more towards the white side. So that means it's as high value. This is called the light value, but it means the high value. Blue is more towards the darker side, so it's going to the low value. You can see it here now. The blue is more, when you take out the color, it's more towards this, and when you take out the yellow, it's more towards this. So the value we cannot say from like this light blue to dark blue is, this is the blue is in the low value side and the yellow is on the high value low value side because of the primary. No, it's not works like that. When you take out the color, you can see it's more towards the low value, and this one is more towards the high value. So when you are using watercolors, it's a little different. You don't need to mix, because if you want to make the values of a certain color, you can mix white or black. But in the watercolors, you can also do that, but as also you can just mix with water. Mix with water, because the paper will work as the subtractive mixing method, because it's absorbed into the paper. So this is also about another example for the color interaction, like that as I said about the background and the foreground. The same yellow, you can see it differently in these two images. I will just go through it as fast as possible because I need to finish it. So the intensity is, I told you about, that is the brightness and the dullness of the color. So how you can achieve it is like mix with gray, a color mixed with gray, or a color mixed with a complement color. It's like when you have I said like red, and the other side you have that orange. Yeah, blue and yellow is orange, and the red blue and green and red. So if you mix those colors half and half, you will get a gray color. So that's becomes the centered one. And when you reduce the gray, then it becomes more intense, it becomes more brightness, so it becomes more towards the red side. And when you mix more red into it for the complementary color, when you reduce the red from the complementary color, it go more towards the green side. the green and the red on the both sides are more bright colors, and when it comes to the middle, it becomes the dull color. You can do that with the gray as well. Without you have the complement color, but you can mix gray to the green, and you can come into the center, and the same like that, you can mix gray to the red and get into the center. And the complementary colors, there is an important thing. It gives attraction for the people. Like now the red and green is two complementary colors, and it gives more attraction for the image and some emphasis also, because it contrasts with each other. You see this image, this is also now use the yellow and using that complementary color of the mixing of the blue and red. This complementary color is used in the light scale. You can see it also if you have the light wheel, they use that scale, because you no need to go with the same red and the same you can change the red, but it will reflect. You need to take the side opposite color of that color to make it complementary. The after image effect is it's something that, like when you are looking at a white light and when you are looking at another background, you see as a black patch. So white, black. So same thing happens when you look into a one color image, like one color like the red, and when you look at in a another surface, you will see the complementary color of it when you look into this one in a certain time. So these are some of the images for the complementary color using, how it attracts your eyes. I will just go through it quickly. So mixing light, this is what I told you in your softwares that you are using, Paint, Photoshop, Corel Draw, all these things. It's not about the pigment mixing, it's about the light mixing. So the light mixing, this one is work with that additive color mixing, and this is with the subtractive mixing. And this is another technique that you can use. This one is called optical mixing, visual mixing. That means you have red and you have yellow. When you mix red with yellow, you get orange, but you don't need to mix it, but you can draw red and yellow closer to each other. When you have that one, your eyes will read it as orange when it mixes. This image is only drew these lines in the pure color, the red, yellow, red, but your eyes will read this part as orange. So that one we call it optical mixing or visual mixing. Vincent van Gogh's most artworks, he used this method. So other one is the pointillism, that is using the black dot and place it near to each other or have it in a distance. It creates the value that we learn, like more towards the if we have the points in a distance level, it will become more towards the high value, that the light gray side, and the dark gray side, it will be if you keep the points more closer to each other. And the cool and the warm colors, it's about from the color wheel, it goes from the cool values goes from the green to blue, and the warm colors, it will be from red to yellow. In the cool colors, it says higher color temperature. You can see it with the light spectrum. It's the K value is more high in cool colors, and the K value is low in the warm colors. The difference is it gives different psychological effect. In the also when you're using cool colors, you feel that that space, or if you use it for a space like, let's imagine, it will be more distance for you. But if you're using more warm colors, it's like more closer to you. So yeah, so this one is okay. See here also in this image, you can see where the blue, when he uses the blue, it feels like it's more far away, and where this warm color used, it's like more closer to you. So these are some of the images with the colors, different images with using different colors. This is certain colors. You can create these colors by using that I said about the dullness and the brightness. When you mix it with the gray, certain colors, the red, if you are using with grayish color or certain colors, you can get this dullness. This is some of the complementary color using, how the contrast. Yeah, so these are some of the images, yes. Yeah, that's it. So do you have any questions on this one? Because we need to do, we are going to do an assignment about the 3 properties that we learned: the hue, the intensity, and the value. So if you have anything, just ask me about this lecture, then we can go to the assignment and I will explain you the assignment, and then you can do your quiz 3. This is that's why I said this is a very important thing that you need to learn about the color, because it helps you through every project that you do and everything that you are going to do in your any school work. In the I know you are doing graphics and all that. Color is a major thing. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will go to the assignment. There are two assignments. Today I'm going to explain you the 6A. That's what we are going to do this week. Okay. So we are going to do 3 palettes, like for the hue, value, and intensity. You need to bring the board, the size here. It's 15 by 20 foam core board. Bring that one and your acrylic colors. And also, do you have another board with you? I don't know with the list, because you need to cut some shapes of it. Do you have another board with you? With this one, extra boards or something like that? You had? Ah, right. I think you have. If you guys have, or if you guys have but for the previous projects, you used the one board, you cut it into some size. Do you have any spare board pieces with you? Yeah, just bring that one, because we need that, because I will show you some examples. You need to cut some shapes on it, and then you have to paint on it, and then you have to paste on this board, this 15 by 20 board. What? White. You need to use white board. Don't use any other color boards, because when it becomes different. That's why I said the white is also, yeah. We need this board, 15 by 20 board, and the other board that referring to this, yeah, and the colors, acrylic colors, the paint, yeah, acrylic paints. So in the assignment you have a verbal presentation that's I think due on Thursday, or I will check with it. I don't know where. I will just check with the dates when it's due. It will be you have to address to these questions, and also when you are doing your composition, make sure that you use a one shape for your work. Okay, I like this. So the final outcome will looks like something like this. When you are using this is the hue that you do, it should have the same. If you're using a shape, try to keep the same shades, like the total composition should have a certain unity. So try to if you're taking triangles, try to use it with the triangles or squares or something like that, rather than doing different things in the composition. So this is something for the hue, this is showing the value, and this is for the intensity. But I think some different, you can do something like this as well, but try to keep it in the same graphical format. So that's why I said for these things you need another board to paint it on and then paste it on this one. Do you have any questions with the assignment 6A? No. Yeah. What? This one says foam board. Do you have the that's the whiteboard? No, that you have?
No, I don't have any board, but I'm trying to get one.
Yeah. Well, you did not get the list from them from this. There is a list there. But when you go to this student union, this bookshop, when you tell them about this class and the book.
Yeah, I forgot every single board yet.
All right. They don't have it there.
They have it there.
All right. Yeah, you take it because the list is here. You can refer it to this board totals. When you refer it to this one, it has now for the 6A project, foam core board, 15 by 20 foam core board. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions with the assignment 1, now you can go with your quiz 3. For the quiz 4, we have the week after next. So next week, I will go through the study guide. Guys in the Zoom can also do the quiz 3.